Welcome back. I'm Lamborghini underscore C, and I am here to talk about all of these store closings. What is going on with this economy, guys? Because I know if you are like me, we were watching this whole election period. I was trying to tell people some things, but I don't think they wanted to hear me though. But, some people were saying it was a good economy. They said it was the best economy that we had seen in years. And I knew different because look, I have had people jumping on my calendar from LinkedIn that I don't even know. I don't even know how they got on my calendar, but I use that scheduling link and they probably went to our website and got on my calendar. But I will tell you, let me tell you has been going on because I've been asked in different meetings with organizations that I'm a part of or that I sit on and things like that. And folks have said, Clonetta, what's your take on the economy? Because they know that my profession is human resources and then I'm also a businesswoman. I own 3 businesses. And so one of those is an HR firm. And so what I've explained to people is that we are in a season where it is um, the tale of two job economies, so to speak, right? And so I say that because you will still hear some of the chatter around it's so hard to get employees. And you'll hear that from your local smaller mom and pop shops that are struggling to hire people and said that they don't know what to do. They don't know how to find talent and keep them there and retain them. But then on the other end, where it comes to the professional roles, and I would say even more executive level roles, I started to notice personally a mass exodus. And it wasn't a voluntary exodus of folks, and even some people that I know that I am friends with that, called me with, the heart wrenching news that they were being let go from their positions. And I'm talking director level and above from some of these corporations, organizations that are making like multiple millions of dollars. We're talking 8, 9 figure organizations. And again, it's heart wrenching because I know for many of those folks, as you're at that level, you don't expect that to happen, right? Um, you also, for many of them, they were at a point in their career where they probably saw themselves finishing out their careers at those companies. And now they're being forced out into this world and this economy to have to hit the ground, run in, hit the pavement, and seek employment, right? Or as many people have been doing, because we're starting to see an oversaturation of folks that are jumping into consulting or the blue buzzword fractional. They're now fractional consulting. And that's whether it's fractional chief marketing officers, fractional chief human resource officers, which is becoming greatly oversaturated. Um, and so those of us that, the crave has the rest of the top and stand out and, make sure you're giving good advisement and things like that because you will be able to stand out from the rest. Um, but CIOs, COOs, everything out there. And again, these are talented people that had the wherewithal within their organizations to make it to the points that they were at. Now, in some cases, some of the individuals, um, maybe they just weren't keeping up with the trends and with re-educating themselves, right? And learning the new technology. That's why I've been on you guys so much around this AI technology and not being afraid of it, but embracing it, running into it. And, again, I have a quote that I keep reiterating, especially around my function, where there's been chatter around human resources and whether or not AI technology will take away jobs from human resources folks. And my quote is that AI will not replace or take away jobs from human resources people. The people that know how to use the AI will replace and take away the jobs from the people who don't. So you need to make sure that you're one of the people who knows how to use that technology and who knows how to use it good. I've seen some blunders, right? Some people, you ask them, "Oh, do you use AI?" And oh, they're using it, they're punching in some stuff, but what they're getting out, and then they're not even reading through it before they just shoot it off. And so it's just when you can tell it was AI generated. And again, like I'll do a whole separate show on that. But AI is not to replace your brain. It's not to replace your mind. It's to be maybe a thought starter or to give you like an outline or a template, and then you build from that, right? So it condenses and helps take away some of the time that it used to take to do task of the past, right? There's things that in the past that would take me like 2 weeks traditionally in my previous roles to do before AI, that now I can knock it out within like an hour or so, right? AI can knock out that template within a couple minutes or less. We all know that. But then again, I still have to go back and I have to vet the information. I may have to just reformat it, make it look nice and pretty, or add some charts and graphs or things, or additional data points. But again, it's not an end all be all, but it's to be used as a tool and an extension of the work that you're doing. So that's my stint there. But again, we have seen, again, with the uptick of AI, that it has been able to help organizations. Organizations have become more warm to it. When ChatGPT specifically first came onto the scene, organizations were apprehensive in using it. They did not like it. They were very negative to it. Well, now we've gone fast forward to the end of 2024, and now ChatGPT or OpenAI actually has enterprise packages. We even have one of those packages. Like, we've upgraded and upskilled, our use with the technology, and also to be able to allow us some more privacy settings, right? Because again, in human resources, like, we deal with highly confidential and highly sensitive information. And so it's only right that I protect our team. I want to protect, as we're getting more visibility, our branding, and the confidentiality of the clients that we're working with, right? So we don't want to be using the general platform where if we're inputting data or creating GPTs, that information is being stored that can be used by other companies or lay people and what have you. And so I think that some of us have seen now, some of these store closings I have not been quite aware of, but I'm going to share a TikTok video from Nostalgia Nobe that I come across the other day. And I have to tell you, it was eye opening for me. Like, I did not realize that there were so many of these organizations that were being shut down. I just was not aware of it. And so I want to go ahead and pull this up. I want to pull it up without the comments showing so you guys can see it fully. But yeah, I'm telling you, like, it's almost, we're just about in Christmas. And so it's really interesting to me that, um, like, the timing of this, I know a lot of folks are just kind of coming into the awareness that you've been lied to, right? And like I said, I've been trying to like inform people and just share with and enlighten them, right? Just over the last year, the last political season, just be mindful and watchful, because a lot of the information that was being put out there and a lot of the political rhetoric, it wasn't actually true, and it wasn't actually, factual. And there was a lot of playing on our emotions, right? To sway votes in a particular way or fashion. And so let me go ahead and share this now, and we'll watch it together. See, I'm gonna stop that there. One, I did not know that they were closing Big Lots, right? Because back in the day when I was a kid, we would go to Big Lots and go to town, and then Advanced Auto Parts. Like it's been around forever. I did not know they were closing that location. And when you look at this, just pay attention to the number of stores and number of employees that is listed here, because I want to talk about that as we get through this video. And let me just say, some of these have been staples, right? Like Foot Locker. When I think, I'm like having a little bit of an emotion just seeing this. Like this is my first time watching this video all the way through. But yeah, like I have memories, right, of being a teenager and asking my dad to let me go to Foot Locker, and and Family Dollar just seems like it's been around forever. And usually, like I'll have to tell you, because I also trade in the stock market. Usually, like when the economy shifts and it starts to go down, usually you will see a trend where your high end stores, like so your Saks, Bergdorf, stores like that, right, that are on the higher end, that attract clientele for whom they're not as necessarily swayed by the ebbs and flows of the economy. They tend to do well. They tend to be okay. You'll even see their stock begin to rise. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, if you were looking to make some investments, usually your Family Dollars, your Dollar Tree, those locations or those stores, they usually see an increase because your people that, your middle class and even middle upper class that normally would not shop at these locations because they have to watch their budgets. Typically, they would go and shop at these locations and be pleasantly surprised that they could find some savings. But I'm shocked to see the Family Dollars closing 350 or more locations in 2025. CVS. They, now I've already seen that in my neighborhood, right? And like again, it's just like I can see someone's comments here. We're literally going to have no stores, right? And it's like I'd go to the little plaza where that Rite Aid used to be, and it's just there's nothing there in that building, right? And it's kind of sad. And as more of this happens, like you see CVS on the list, and usually there's a couple of those around. But what if like they end up closing like the Rite Aid and the CVS, like that are just down the street from you? You have to travel further as the consumer. It's going to force you to travel out further just to get the bare necessities, your prescriptions filled, and things like that. But let's continue. This is just, it's heartbreaking to me when I look at this list and see these stores and what have you. Like, I can't believe it. And so, guys, I say, pull up that site that I've shared with you before, that warn.com, so that you can see some of the organizations that are slated for closure. But take the pulse of your organization. Typically, when things are not going right financially. Typically, and you're aware that, what they've been saying, we haven't been meeting our metrics, or that, our revenues are lower. And so you want to just clue into that, because that will help if your location or your organization is subject to closure, right? Your HR teams and your managers, if they have been brought into the fold, they're sworn to secrecy. They have confidentiality clauses and things. They can't share the information with you until, it's time, right? And so I know a lot of people get upset at that, because they want to go march to their boss. Are you guys going to lay me off? And the reality is they can't. And I have to tell you something. These things, like when I tell you the mechanics of it, you talk about stress and work and burning the midnight oil. These things have so many ebbs and flows because there's legal things we have to look at, some checks and balances on that side. Maybe someone comes and buys one of the locations and, they want the employees and there's changes right up to the minute usually of when we actually have to execute these, closings or reorganizations. And so I know people get so upset because they say, oh, you knew or you wouldn't tell me anything, but I'm not going to risk my reputation, or at the time, if I was working in corporate America, my job by, trying to tell you something, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to keep it confidential anyway. You're going to go and run to tell the next person and the next person and the next person. And so, and especially for those managers and executives, even if the whole place is closing, again, they have to go work somewhere else, right? So they have to depend on those networks. And again, when you're in those roles, you have morale clauses and confidentiality agreements that you have to hold to, and word travels. If you breach those things, the next company is not going to want to have you working for them. And trust me, it's a small circle. The higher you go up, it's a smaller niche group where somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And so, no, they're not going to be able to tell you. So you're going to have to use your context clues, and you are going to have to pay attention, to those financials of the organizations you're working for to stay on top of it. But I just wanted to share with you what I came across with these store closings and that have happened already or been announced already, and those that are to come in 2025. Again, it makes me a little bit sad, right? Because some of these I grew up on, and just grew up running in and out of these stores. And it makes my heart sad because I wonder, what will be next for some of the people. For some, it will help propel them into greater things that maybe they've been dragging their feet on. For others, it's going to be a harder time. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But again, like, I challenge you to open your mind to take some time and just begin to reflect, because throughout this year, you had people that were telling you, no, the economy is good. It's the best that it's ever been. And hopefully some of you will wake up and you will see, like, wow, these people were really lying in our face. Like, seriously. Right? Because some of you guys are going to be the ones caught up in this. Like, if you're working for these companies or not. And so I will be coming back, like I've been asked to do, like some reaction to some of the layoffs before the holidays that have taken place, and some of the content that has been put out there. But again, I wanted to inform you guys so that you have the awareness. And again, keep your head on the swivel. Keep your skill set up so that you're marketable, right? And overall, keep your head up. If you happen to be with one of these companies, it's not going to be the end of the world. It may just be your wake-up call that you need to pivot, right? So don't make a permanent decision in a temporary situation, as the elders would say. Don't let your emotions get the best of you, and you do something detrimental that can harm your entire family, right? We are America. We're going to get through this, guys. But again, take this information and move forward how you need to. Bye.